Imagine walking into a village where fires are still burning, meals are left half-eaten, but every single person has vanished without a trace. No signs of struggle, no footprints leading away, just an eerie silence. In 1930, a fur trapper arrived at the remote Inuit settlement of Anjikuni, expecting to find warmth and hospitality. Instead, he discovered one of the greatest mass disappearances in history. An entire village gone, as if they had been erased from existence. But what's even more chilling? Some say the missing villagers were taken by something not of this world. By the end of this video, you might just start to believe it too. Joe Labelle was no stranger to the harsh conditions of the Canadian wilderness. As a seasoned fur trapper, he had traveled through countless remote settlements, always welcomed by the warmth of village life. But in November of 1930, when he arrived at Anjikuni, something was wrong. The village, usually bustling with activity, was completely silent. The first thing he noticed was the flickering glow of fires still burning in some of the homes, their embers slowly dying. He stepped inside one of the dwellings and was met with an eerie sight. Meals left uneaten, as if the villagers had abandoned them mid-bite. Clothing, weapons, and essential supplies remained untouched, making it clear that no one had simply packed up and left. As Labelle moved from house to house, the unsettling realization grew stronger. There were no signs of life, no voices, no movement, not even a single footprint leading away from the village. It was as if the entire population had vanished into thin air. Then he made an even more disturbing discovery. Outside the village, a row of sled dogs lay motionless in the snow, frozen to death. These animals were essential for survival in the Arctic, yet they had been left behind to starve. The sight sent a chill through Labelle. Who would willingly abandon their only means of transportation in such a harsh environment? But perhaps the most disturbing clue of all was found in the village graveyard. Several burial sites had been disturbed, the graves dug open, but the bodies inside were missing. What could have caused this? A desperate search for survivors? Or something far more sinister? Realizing he had stumbled upon something truly unexplainable, Labelle wasted no time. He left the village and made his way to the nearest telegraph station to alert the authorities. What followed was an investigation that would only deepen the mystery of Anjikuni rather than solve it. When Labelle's report reached the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they wasted no time dispatching a team to investigate. These were seasoned officers, familiar with the harsh conditions of the Arctic and the struggles of remote villages. But nothing in their experience had prepared them for what they found. Upon arriving at Anjikuni, the RCMP confirmed everything Labelle had described. The homes were abandoned, yet meals sat untouched, as if the villagers had left in a hurry. Weapons, essential for both hunting and defense, remained in their places. Even the storehouses, stocked with food and supplies for the brutal winter, had been left untouched. If the villagers had chosen to leave, why abandon everything they needed to survive? Authorities began considering possible explanations. Could extreme weather have forced a sudden evacuation? Arctic blizzards can be deadly, but the village showed no signs of a storm powerful enough to drive an entire population away so suddenly. Starvation was another possibility, but with food left behind, that theory made little sense. Some suggested that the villagers might have moved elsewhere, but if they had, where were the tracks? A group that large traveling together would have left a clear trail in the snow, yet none existed. It was as if they had simply ceased to exist. Adding to the confusion were the disturbed graves. Authorities struggled to explain why bodies had been removed from their resting places. Grave robbing seemed unlikely in such a remote and isolated area. And if it had been done by animals, why were no remains left behind? Every logical explanation only led to more questions. The more investigators searched for answers, the stranger the mystery became. As investigators struggled to find a rational explanation, more unsettling details emerged. Nearby travelers reported seeing strange lights in the sky around the time of the villagers' disappearance. These glowing orbs, described as pulsating and moving erratically, were unlike any natural phenomenon. Some speculated they could have been atmospheric disturbances or even northern lights, but others believed they were something far more mysterious. Nearby travelers reported seeing strange lights in the sky around the time of the villagers' disappearance. These glowing orbs, described as pulsating and moving erratically, were unlike any natural phenomenon. The local Inuit people had their own explanations. rooted in legends passed down for generations. Some spoke of spirits known as the Tornrarshuk, powerful beings that could lure people away, never to be seen again. Others mentioned the Kalupalik, eerie humanoid creatures said to snatch unsuspecting victims near water. Could one of these ancient legends have come to life in Anjikuni? The case also drew comparisons to other unexplained disappearances throughout history. The Roanoke colony in the late 1500s remains one of the most famous, where over 100 settlers vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the cryptic word Croatoan carved into a tree. Similarly, in the 1930s, entire groups of nomadic tribes in Siberia reportedly disappeared under mysterious circumstances, with their camps left untouched. As whispers of supernatural involvement grew, some speculated that the villagers of Anjikuni had been taken by something unknown. Whether it was extraterrestrial forces, an interdimensional event, or an unexplainable natural phenomenon, one chilling fact remained. No bodies, no tracks, and no answers. The mystery of Anjikuni only deepened as time went on. Despite the eerie details surrounding the Anjikuni disappearance, not everyone was convinced that the event happened as described. Historians and skeptics began questioning the authenticity of the story, pointing out inconsistencies in the records. Some argued that the entire incident might have been exaggerated or even fabricated by early news reports eager to spread a sensational tale. One of the biggest challenges in proving the event's legitimacy is the lack of official documentation. While the story of the vanishing village has been retold in books and articles for decades, there are no clear records of a large-scale investigation by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. In fact, the RCMP later denied ever conducting such an inquiry, fueling speculation that the case may have been a myth. Skeptics also pointed to the role of journalist Emmett Kelleher, who originally reported the story. Some believe his article may have sensationalized or misinterpreted local rumors, turning an ordinary case of migration into a full-blown mystery. Others suggested that the tale evolved over time, with each retelling adding new details, such as the glowing lights in the sky or the disturbed graves, that may not have been part of the original account. However, those who support the story argue that consistent eyewitness testimonies cannot be ignored. If the event was entirely fabricated, why do multiple sources, including oral histories from Inuit communities, reference a strange disappearance in the region? Was there a deliberate cover-up to keep the truth hidden? Or did a once simple story spiral into legend? Even today, the debate continues. Was the disappearance of Anjikuni Village a real, unexplained event, or simply a ghost story passed down through the years? Over the years, many theories have been proposed to explain what might have happened to the people of Anjikuni. Some believe that the villagers left voluntarily, possibly due to dwindling resources or the need to seek better hunting grounds. However, this does not explain why they abandoned food, weapons, and essential supplies. Others suggest that a sudden natural disaster, such as a blizzard or ice collapse, forced them to flee in a hurry. Yet, if that were the case, why were there no signs of struggle, footprints, or remains? The more mysterious explanations continue to spark debate. Could an unknown force have taken the villagers? The strange lights in the sky reported by travelers in the area have led to theories involving extraterrestrial interference, while local Inuit legends warn of spirits and supernatural beings capable of making entire groups vanish. Even the idea of a government cover-up has been floated, though no evidence has ever surfaced to support such claims. What makes the case of Anjikuni Village so haunting is the complete lack of definitive answers. No bodies were ever recovered, no personal belongings were found scattered across the landscape, and no clear explanation has ever been confirmed. The story has been passed down through generations, blurring the line between fact and fiction. Was this simply an exaggerated tale, or did something truly unexplainable happen in that remote corner of the Arctic? What do you think really happened to the people of Anjikuni? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't like this video, and definitely don't subscribe. You wouldn't want weekly doses of mind-blowing mysteries, creepy legends, and unexplained events, would you? Yeah, I didn't think so. And whatever you do, don't click on the video above, unless you want to uncover the secrets of the Roanoke colony disappearance.